it's become a little bit apparent that she purely lacks contact sleeping.
Before we talk about how to get a baby to sleep, let's talk about the fourth trimester. And I think it's something that's way too overlooked and under talked about because it's the 3 months after you give birth where you are acclimating to having a new baby, and your new baby is acclimating to existing outside of a uterus. Since none of us can remember the 9 months we lived in utero, let's just think from what that perspective was like for a minute. We were moving almost all of the time. We were cozy. We were always fed. We were never cold. We didn't have to wear clothes. And now you've been thrust into a world full of bright lights, less movement, and you're no longer warm and toasty, and you're wearing clothes. Things are weird, and it takes a while to acclimate to that. All of a sudden, you're feeling hunger cues that you didn't have to deal with before because you were fed through a tube. You are experiencing what texture feels like on your skin, which is a completely new experience. And the sound that you heard like this for so long is now talking like this because you're not hearing through water anymore. You're now hearing with your ears out in regular. It takes time to adjust to that for a tiny human. At the same time, a mom is now acclimating to having her baby on the outside, meaning that she's hearing and getting to know them and getting to hear their cries and understand what they're asking for. That's why these 3 months are so difficult, because you're literally getting to know a new human, and that new human is getting to know what existing in air is like. And as much as in a dreamland it would be great if they would just lay down in a bed and sleep with no problem, a lot of the times the reason that they have their nights and their days mixed up is because they've walked around all day with you and been rocked to sleep, and the second you went to sleep, they woke up. That's why their days and nights often get mixed up, because they think that not moving is awake time and moving is time that you get rocked to sleep. So it makes sense when they're just want to be with you. They want to be close to you because that's all they've known so far. Now, they have to get used to new things. We're not saying we're not going to get them used to that, but what we are saying is we need to meet them where they're at. And if that means that slowly it's a 5 minute nap by themselves, a 10-minute nap by themselves, eventually at 15, and then so on and so forth, that's what it's going to be. Every day is a new day with a new baby because they are just learning how to exist outside of a uterus. I know that that does not appeal to anybody's sleep schedule. I know that that is so difficult because they just want contact naps and they just want to cuddle you, and we know what safety guidelines say when it comes to co-sleeping, and there's all of this information inundated at us, and at the end of the day, we need to figure out how to survive with our baby while listening to both the sleep experts and listening to our baby. And the right decision, it's different for everybody. I'm not here to give anybody advice. I'm just saying that we need to just think about this from the baby's perspective real quick. It makes sense why it's so hard, and now we need to know how to be able to do the right thing safely. But sometimes just knowing that it's just them getting acclimated to the world and it's not actually anything that you're doing wrong is helpful, because you're doing what's best for your baby and you're getting them used to the world. And sometimes swaddling longer is fine. Sometimes, there's whatever it is that comes to mind that is helping the baby acclimate and giving you some rest at the same time. That's going to be the right thing for that season. And it might be different for the next baby, because the next baby might totally be fine. And or you can have like my number 8 baby, he didn't sleep for a year. It was torturous for a year. I basically just slept sitting up holding him or walking around. And I don't know how I even functioned. I don't even really remember a lot of that year because it was so difficult. Good news, he's 8 now and I really like him. And honestly, he's the one who can keep the attention span going the longest when he's still super active. So I don't know if it helped in the long term, but it was an arduous first year. So give yourself grace while you're figuring out the rhythm, because the fourth trimester is hard.